Go
Hey,
ahead.
all we climbing up. We got 3 viewers. Look at us.
Go ahead. We climbing up.
We climbing up.
You so funny.
Hey,
Hey.
welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for joining. Let us know you're here on tonight. Hey there.
Hey, Kanish, daughter
Welcome.
Kanish.
Glad to see you
Oh
guys.
man, we dropped back down by one. Now we got only two. But the two that's here has been important. You are important to me.
All right. And I just got a question. Are we going live tonight? So I just said, hey, we just went
We
live. I
just
think
went.
it's awesome. Somebody just texted me to ask me where we're going live tonight. And guess what? We are
We
going
are
right now.
live.
Right now. So we have missed you guys. We have missed you all. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. We have missed you.
Have you
Missed you.
gotten Have you gotten your vision journal?
Have you gotten your vision
Have
journal?
you got your vision journal? And if you did, have you begun to write in it? Have you begin to express what the Lord has given you?
Go ahead. Get
Yeah.
commercial going on.
Oh
Commercial.
yeah, whole commercial
Commercial.
sponsored by Pastor
The
Will and
space.
Ebb.
That's
The
it. The
Fates.
space. The space. The Maryland space.
Do you have your vision journal? This vision journal will
Go ahead, honey.
help you plan out the next of your life.
Go ahead, honey.
In the vision journal,
Go ahead, honey.
pick up your vision journal right now. Go online
Right now.
at a website nearest your fingertips.
Go ahead. Go ahead, honey.
Get your vision journal right now
You are cracking me up tonight.
while supplies last.
While supplies last. Hey, y'all.
Hey,
Hey.
y'all. Hey,
Family. Good to see everybody on tonight.
good to see you all. I miss you all.
Yes, we have missed you guys for sure. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's get in it. Let's get into
All
it.
right. Let's
So
get
what we
into it.
talking about tonight, Pastor? What we talking about tonight?
Okay. So, somebody brought up a, I'm not gonna put, I ain't gonna say no names. Hey, every Kavante, I ain't gonna say no names, but they was like, hey, so, have y'all started dating yet? Talking to, some of the unmarried, in in our congregation, they said y'all been doing dating God's way. So have y'all begin to date yet? Right. And so this brings up the thought for me. This brought up a thought is what to do while I'm waiting, or what to do while you're waiting.
Mm,
While you're waiting on that someone
okay. Hmm.
to intrude your life,
Intrude.
intrude your life. Okay. While you waiting that for someone to welcome into your life to date, I'll be nice.
You out of control tonight.
Very out of control. Because I have a lot to do. So
You're out of
I'm
control.
intruding. I'm intruding somebody's Facebook right now. I'm in
Okay.
your I'm in your stream. I'm intruding your stream. So, but what do you do while you're waiting?
What do you do while you're waiting?
What do you do while you're waiting? While you're waiting on that someone? While you're waiting on that um while you're waiting for that special someone to come into your life and begin
Well,
a dating journey, what do you do while you're waiting?
you know, I thought that also. I mean, it's about okay. So, what do you do while you're waiting? But also, right, it's about what we're talking about tonight. Not just what you do when you're dating, but also how do you deal with the waiting stage and everybody else's expectations? All of the questions, maybe in your own mind, maybe in other people's mind about why you're not dating, what's going on right now. So, how do you start to deal with some of that anxiety around wherever stage that you might find yourself in right now, whether you are choosing not to date, whether you are dating, and whether you are in the space of waiting to be found, if you're in the space of looking, how do you deal with being in those stages and not having definitive answers for people?
Yeah, because people gonna always have questions about, so when are you gonna find a wife? Then after you find somebody that you would consider your wife. So when y'all gonna get married? And then after you do get married, it's like, so when are you gonna have a baby? It's like, and like all the questions of um the questions to the answers to someone else's anxiety.
Yeah.
How do you not on take or let someone else's anxiety overtake your life?
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Become a part of your process, become a part of your
Yeah.
processing, become a part of your thinking. So that's what we talk about tonight, guys.
When you gonna get a job?
Oh my gosh. We just went to this. We're talking about dating right now.
When you going to college? When you going to school? Like, yeah, like
Yeah. People got a
all
lot
the
of questions. So just hit us up in the comment section right quick. Let us know. Have you ever dealt with this before? The questions like your family, your auntie, asking questions about your dating life. Yes, all the questions. That's correct. All the questions. All the questions. And yeah, so how you dealing with the questions? That's what we so maybe give some tips to how you can start dealing with the questions internally, not externally as much, because people gonna be people. I would, not spend my time if it were me. I would not spend my time kind of trying to manage people. But how do you manage within yourself?
but
Maybe
you don't spend your time trying to manage people, right? But you take these things home. Like when you get out there face and you go back into your car, those questions can sometimes play with your mind,
yeah,
right? Um, and even though you didn't shut that person down or respond right then and there, you know, how do you deal with these questions that put you in a place of, you know what, maybe I'm not doing whatever. Maybe I should have given someone a chance, or maybe I should have, or whatever. Then it have you second guessing even where you are because of the questions.
yeah. The questions can have you questioning for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. So let's get into it tonight. Let's get into
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's do it. A couple of things that I think is important is first identifying your space that you're in right now as it relates to dating. Having clarity about where you are, I think, is a key component of dealing with the question phases, the anxiety that come up within yourself. Is starting with the clarity. Where are you? Are you waiting to be found? Are you in the looking stage? Like really getting clarity about, do you even desire to be with somebody right now? Are you willing to, as Pastor Will say, allow somebody to intrude on your space? And are you
What
willing?
you can't use? You say I couldn't. You look at me to look like I couldn't use
You
intrude.
already used it, so now we're doing it. Are you in a space where you're open to dating, or do you just like your space right now? I think first comes with a dose of your own reality. What you think about that, Pastor? Your own reality.
Yeah, my own reality.
Yeah, start with that. Not yours. You married the people.
But I did. But I wasn't. I mean, even
You
though
wasn't always married.
anyway, yeah, I wasn't always married. But you know, sometimes my reality um is is being lived out through me and no one else. But yet, I do understand the in the mind of others,
Uh,
the role I may play in their minds, or they see me playing, right, in their mind. um Someone always sees something for you. So it seems like I'm not gonna say it. It seems like someone always see something for you. Well, I see this for you.
do they see something for you, or are they deflecting on their own lived experiences or desires?
Probably both and all.
Okay.
You know what? Before we keep going, are you on your old laptop?
I'm on my new one.
You on your new one? Oh wow, you freezing? You buffering? Yeah, you buffering in between. Anyway,
Yeah, I can see my internet is not as stable as it needs to be.
okay, cool, not a problem. So yeah, but talking about this, it's like, what role do people? What role do you live in people minds, and what role do they live in your mind?
Yeah. What role are you going to allow people to have in your thinking space?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good question.
What role are you going to allow them to have in, the space that you live in? And I do think that this is a key component of managing some of your own internal frustrations or your internal anxieties about dating is, the number one was reality, but this number two is like determining how much you're going to allow people to have space in your thought life, have space in your processing, how much room are you going to give people to walk around in your thoughts, walk around in your soul? How much do you give them?
Yeah,
How much do you give them?
yeah.
I think the third thing tonight, to kind of like get in order is social media. Sometimes it's positive to take a step back from social media. If you are anxious about dating and it could be a space to rethink the relationship with dating apps, right? Because that amount of like either rejection or kind of like fear that you're missing out on getting the right person, or loneliness can really start to affect your mental health. And so it's just having that, all that scrolling and looking and all of those things can bring excessive worry and apprehension and can really bring up more anxiety. And so I think, number three is like monitoring how much social you're bringing into your dating thoughts, how much social media, whether it's online apps, whether it's looking at couples on Facebook, looking at couples on Insta. It's like, how much are you allowing that to get inside your space? Because that can really create worry and anxiety as well.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound too negative,
Uh
but I'll say this.
oh.
You know, a lot of content that's you see on social media come from spiritually poor creators,
Hmm.
right? Poor in spirit.
Okay.
And so, and if we take on the poor in spirit suggestions or mindset, guess what it's doing? It's draining. If you have spiritual wealth, well, it's going to drain your wealth of your spirit.
Hmm.
Taking on poor in spirit mindsets.
Yeah. Yeah, people that have things to prove on social media, or people that lash out because they've been rejected, or bleed all over Facebook because they're hurting. All of those things are spiritually poor postures that we can take on or get caught up or swept up into. So, definitely something to be really careful about with social media, that we're not getting caught up in, the drama of somebody else's life, just to be, super clear. Those things can get into your space and how you start to view where you're at in your life right now as it relates to, I don't have anybody, I'm not this, I'm not that. So making sure that socials is not playing a part in how you see yourself, as it relates to dating or not dating.
Yeah.
The
So
socials, being aware of the socials.
yeah. So what we talking about tonight?
So tonight we're talking about, to bring everybody in, tonight we're talking about you know, let me just give a little bit more context, Pastor. It's cuffing season, as they say. Okay, it's cuffing season, getting close to cuffing season, whatever cuffing season is. And so, there becomes a lot of questions about dating during this time period
Well,
that
we
you
have to
have
we
somebody
have
coming up with.
we at the holiday season.
Yeah, it's coming
We
right
here.
around the corner.
We like Halloween now. What you want to hold hands and go trick or trunking.
Go ahead. What's
Then
wrong?
Thanksgiving is here, and
Yeah, Christmas.
you want to take them to your family's house to introduce them to the family. Then it's Christmas, and you want to
Yeah,
exchange gifts,
yeah.
right? Then it's New Year's. You want to bring in a New Year. Smushing faces and
Oh, go ahead, Pat.
all the things. So we are this. This is the beginning of cuffing season.
Yeah. And so, those types of things we're talking about tonight can bring up certain anxieties. And so we're giving some points about how to deal with the questions that either come from others and or the anxiety that you may feel yourself, just around where you are in your dating season, where you are in either dating and or not dating, and or where you are with maybe you don't want to date right now, wherever you are in your space, just how to deal with being in that space. And our first tip was just talking about reality, being in the reality of where you are, knowing being honest with yourself and okay with wherever you are now. And then, the people factor, how much you're going to let people get into your thought, your mind. And then number three was watch them socials, online dating, social media. Be careful about how much of that you are intaking.
Yeah.
So, I think another thing, before we open up, and people can, drop questions or comments in the section that we'll bring up. But I think another thing about dating anxiety, Pastor Will, we gave some tips on kind of how to deal with it is, some of the ways that you can reduce some of these things too is, um, you know, being really focused on your own growth, and like something we talk about a lot, but with the great things that are happening in your own life. I think this is a reminder of, like, you have great things going on, like, wherever you are in your life right now. So not getting stuck on what someone can bring into your life, but also allowing what you bring to be elevated. Celebrate yourself.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about this, wait, Pastor, can you check your Wi-Fi? See what Wi-Fi you on. Make sure you're not on the EXT.
I'm not. I'm on the
Make
right
sure you're
one.
not on the extender, cause you right in the same room with the wireless router, and like you frozen right now. I don't know what's going on with your computer. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. We having Pastor E having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, after you said that, it went out completely. So just, I don't know.
Okay, all right, stay right here then. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just saying, celebrate yourself. That's what I was saying.
So that's a good key point, is that while you're waiting or while you're in wait, celebrate.
Yeah.
Celebrate yourself. You know, um, thank God for where you are. Be happy where you are, wherever you are.
Hmm.
Always be joyful. Don't be sorrowful. And don't be try not to be anxious. Pray the anxiety away, but still allow God to. Don't guard yourself up so much that you're not letting anyone in.
Very
You
true.
know, but
Yeah.
but celebrate yourself. I don't know what trip you've been missing out on, or not wanting to do because you didn't want to go alone or whatever, or but find time to celebrate yourself.
Yeah, make space for fun. Make space for fun. I think that is definitely a key, is making space for fun. Dating is not the only space you can have fun. Fun with your girls, fun with yourself. Like, find time for fun. And another thing I would say too, Pastor Will, is like not getting caught up in the lists. I was looking at this thing on social media this week, talking about social media. I was looking at this thing on social media this week, and it was talking about how you approach people with their love languages. how you did, like how you approach the love language. And one of the things that came up for me is like, I was like, man, this is like a long list of things. Like, bringing somebody to your love language, they got to do this, they got to do that. And I was just like, this a lot. And so I think also, not looking for somebody to fulfill your list. I think that's another thing that causes a lot of anxiety is if you have a 10-page list and, it's like, I'm not going to, date or friend or nothing till this list is met. That's another just huge anxiety. So I think that, being able to connect with people without the list, a list is just, it's hard. It's a hard amount of anxiety. Somebody gotta know your love language. They gotta know your this, your that. It's a lot of things. It's so
See, but that's what I talked. I mean, that goes back to taking advice, or from spiritually poor people, or from spiritually poor sources.
yeah,
Is that spiritually poor makes a list because they want somebody to come up to their list,
yeah,
rather than just allowing someone um in, and seeing what's going to happen in a relationship, or in a dating, or in a friend, not even before the friendship, in a friend, just in the friendship stage.
yeah.
Where does this friendship go?
Yeah, because a lot of interactions then with this person will be built on perfection. And so that causes another space of anxiety when we expect someone to be perfect, and or we expect ourselves to be perfect. There's no room to learn. There's no room to grow. There's no room to really learn from somebody else in their perspective, get to know someone.
Yeah, for sure. No, nobody will ever be the perfect person.
No, they will not.
So
Yeah,
no one will ever match up to that massive list that you have.
it's very true. Yeah. So I think that, when we're talking about this tonight, it is just a good reminder, no matter what space you're in, whether you're dating currently, whether you are in a space where you don't want to date, and or you're in a space where you're pondering it. I think, some of the things is having the right life context, making sure that you're not pushing yourself into what if I never get married? What if, just like getting the what ifs out of your mind, because a lot of those what ifs can keep you in a space where you don't experience the present. You don't experience the present part of your life now. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So we're talking dating anxiety tonight, guys. We're talking dating anxiety and how to overcome some of the anxiety that comes with the upcoming cuffing season. Um, all of the questions that you get about why you're not dating right now, why you're not married yet, when you're gonna have kids, all the questions. And so yeah, that's what we're talking about tonight. And we've given a lot of tips tonight about how to overcome some of these things, personally for yourself. But let's go ahead and shift now to how to deal with the people, Pastor.
So how do you deal with the people? With
How do you
how?
deal with the people? Like the people could be your mother, it could be your sister, your father, your best friend. Like, how do you deal with the people that just won't drop it? They won't let it go. How you deal with the people?
You first, have you dealt with yourself?
Okay, so you still got to start with
You
yourself, don't
still
you?
got to start with
Still
yourself,
got to start with yourself.
because if you don't start with yourself, with anything, anybody can get in,
Okay.
and trigger that thing that is found in you. So yeah, the aunties, yeah. Yeah.
Child, yeah.
So yeah, so you got to deal with yourself first before you can even start dealing with the voices.
Yeah. Deal with yourself before the voices. That's good.
Yeah, deal with yourself before the voices.
Yeah, I think it's also important, is like just being, really guarding against letting people in. Um And like being really, even with your family, you gotta be selective. You gotta be selective of how you're allowing them to show up in your personal spaces. Like you an adult, you got to be use some amount of wisdom about how they get to show up in your decision making, how they get to show up in conversation, and creating those boundaries, whether it's with family or with friends. Creating boundaries around your love life will serve you well. Once you do get in a serious relationship, it will have served you well to have begun those conversations and put those boundaries up prior to Mr. Right, Mrs. Right coming into your life.
Yeah.
Create
Yeah.
the boundaries now. Don't wait. Don't wait.
Yeah. Don't wait.
Don't wait. And I think another part of people management too is in managing the people aspect. I like what you said about managing yourself. I think that's really important, managing yourself. But also like, you know, um, I think asking yourself the question, why does this opinion matter so much to me? I think getting to the root of that will also help with anxiety, will also help with spaces of fear, and or things that you may not even be feeling that was brought on to somebody else. Why does this opinion matter to me so much? Because it may not be the person, it may just be what they're saying. So why does this matter so much to me? What is underneath that I may not be dealing with yet? What's underneath that I may not have addressed or asked myself yet?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, yeah,
What's the underneath?
yeah. And yeah, are there any buried beliefs in there? Buried beliefs of, I don't deserve anyone, somebody, I'm hard to love, I'm a difficult person. Is there some beliefs underneath there that or the last time I was in a relationship this happened, I make sure that don't happen again. Do you have some buried beliefs that can be underneath, that can also be coming up to the surface, that's manifesting when you're having these conversations with family or others? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you hitting all the nails on the head now.
Oh, you cracked me up, Pastor. You cracked me.
But I want to go back to something you said earlier, probably 20 minutes ago now.
Go ahead.
Um,
Love it.
and
What I say?
we talked about like celebrating yourself, right? And even though it was many moons ago, since we've been together, you know, before us, I really had a hard time with celebrating myself.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't go to the movies alone. I didn't go to dinner alone. Um, I rather went with somebody else and just be miserable than to go alone. Because of my buried belief of you shouldn't go out alone. I put myself in a box, and you know, um, and the things that I could have done, and probably experiences I could have had as far as traveling or doing things, I really missed out on because I had the buried belief of not doing it alone. you know I you in order to experience something like things or whatever, you had to be cuffed up, you had to have a purpose for it, other than treating yourself and um doing something for you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That can be hard. That can be a hard dynamic. Particularly if you've never been in the space to celebrate yourself, or you've never been in the space where you were pushed to do things and or be by yourself. And I think that it's a great time It's a great time when you're in that space to learn those things before you get married.
For sure.
Because once you get married, it is a hard dynamic if you never want to be alone. I mean, your spouse can't be around all the time.
For sure.
And it can also become overwhelming for that person to have to be everything. They have to be all your things. Like you don't have no other things, no other people. It can be a hard dynamic getting
Very
married
hard.
into that situation. It could be rough. And so yeah, I like that a lot, Pastor. Like really getting comfortable with yourself, spending time with yourself, um, figuring out what you like, what you don't like.
And and it's a hard thing, especially especially in our community where you don't hear this a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it at all. I don't recall me hearing this at all, to celebrate yourself, to give yourself a break, or your vacation, is your vacation belong, it's always, travel in the, couple up, or do something, be bunned up somewhere. That was the goal. That was the thing. And you know, so eh, so it's kind of like breaking that stigma of there's something wrong with you if you're alone.
Yeah, I mean, prior to marriage, I traveled alone. Trips I did things by myself, and went to Florida on my first alone plane ride. Like I just did things by myself because I wanted to experience life, and I didn't have to wait for a man to experience life. I had a job.
Yeah, that's
Right?
good.
I had a job. I didn't have to wait for a companion to experience things that I wanted to experience. So I think it's important, as a person who is unmarried, to think about things you want to experience and not feel like you have to wait for someone else in order to experience some of those things.
Yeah, we really have to break the stigma of alone is negative,
Yeah,
or the negativity of being alone.
yeah, 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 yeah.
A
So,
gospel writer wrote a
mhm.
gospel writer wrote a song that says, I'm never alone. You don't have to worry because I'm never alone.
That's right. God is with you for sure.
God is with you for
But you
sure.
gotta definitely learn how to be with yourself.
Dating God's way.
Be
Yes.
with yourself, okay? It's fine. Be with yourself. Um,
Date yourself God's way.
Okay. I like a nice dinner and I bought it for myself. I think it's just good things to be able to, and I talked about this, I think our last time together, that, treating yourself to Ruth Chris and or a high-end restaurant, Fleming's or wherever, also doesn't put yourself in a space where now you're dating some person and they're like, it's a big treat that they're gonna take you somewhere. You already took yourself. Okay. It's not, it's great. Okay. It's a great, thing that they want to treat you, but it's not like it's a luxury. It's like something you've experienced yourself because you could do it for yourself.
And now you know how much it costs when you do get there.
That's right.
When he take you there.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but and that's good. And we talking about attracting a high end man or attracting a high end woman.
Come on.
Go eat at high end places
That's
by
right. If that's
yourself.
what you like, if that's what you like,
If that's what you
you like
like,
buffet, then do that. Whatever you
right?
like.
Whatever you like, right?
Whatever you like, do that. Okay. Whatever you like, do that. Then the expectation when that person comes, they are not the person that has to bring you into an experience. You've experienced some things yourself.
And it ain't nothing wrong with to go to corral, man.
Ooh. I'm on a health journey. I can't do it with you tonight with this. So anywho, I can
You
do
said buffet,
it. If that's what they like. I'm just saying if that's what they like.
right? That's what I'm saying. Ain't nothing wrong with to go to corral, man.
Ooh, or if that's what they like. I mean, I guess if they want to go to McDonald's, I guess.
Hey,
Hey, it's if that's what they like. But you have
nah.
already experienced the things that you like.
I was high. I was high end. I was a Burger King man.
I can't deal with him
I was
tonight. He definitely was a Burger King man.
I was Burger King man. I was very high end with my fast food options. Burger King.
Please. What is that? He better say it's COVID-19 in the street. I mean, seriously, you guys, like, being able to provide certain things for yourself also just takes away a level of desperation and expectation. The list and stuff we talking about takes away some of that stuff. Takes it out of the equation for sure. Oh, that is hilarious.
But and I'll say that, and while you in waiting, still dress up and go to the Target. Don't go to the Target with your bedroom slippers on and you in waiting.
Right, with your bonnet on. You don't know who you gonna see out in the street.
You don't know.
He might be at the Target in the section that you in. You going to Target, going to the grocery store, Dollar General. He might be in there shopping for his Home Depot. He might be in there shopping for his house, child.
You're always interviewing for life.
Go ahead, bring it over. Not just the marketplace. You always interviewing.
Always.
Yes. Dress with some purpose, child. Dollar Tree. That's it. Wherever, look, he might be there. You don't know. She might be there. She might be at the place. So you definitely got to dress with some purpose. Okay. Oh boy. So we're talking about dating anxieties tonight. That's what we're supposed to be talking about, putting your anxieties into check. And some of the things we're talking about is being able to experience life. That's what we're talking about right now. Experience life in a healthy way. Okay. Experience life in a healthy way. So that you're not taking on different anxieties outside of having a relationship or inside of a relationship. You're not anxious for the next steps. You're not anxious for the experience. You're not anxious about what's going to happen now because you found some contentment with yourself. Okay. So we do have a question in the inbox tonight.
Okay.
What's the response when the guy you are friending or getting to know asks you why you're not married yet? You seem amazing. Why you not married yet? I mean, you seem like great. Why you not married yet? What's a good response to that, Pastor?
Whatever your truth is. I mean, your whatever your transparent truth is.
You think that's a space for you to be honest about what? What are they being honest about?
I think it's a space not to lie.
Oh, for sure. Definitely don't lie. But
or to start making things up, or for it to don't ever feel cornered by this question.
Yeah.
But I mean, take it as a compliment.
That
Thank
you
you.
amazing.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you. But and if you don't want to disclose what your reasons are, you can just say, thank you, but I just don't feel to answer that question right now.
Go ahead, Ross. You said don't even answer the question.
You're right. Don't you ain't got to answer every question.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is a little passive aggressive, a little bit though.
Yes,
that's gonna be a little bit passive aggressive. Like, what you trying to say? Just say what you trying to say. So yeah, I mean, I watch some of that too. Like, make sure you ain't in passive aggressive stance.
That's the truth.
Like, are you saying that for real, or are you being like?
Are you being funny?
Yeah, you being like saying something else behind it, And so that's one thing, right? Discern through that a little bit. But I like also just the ability to just say, like, this ain't. And so I'm in a stage where I want to, when I get married, ... Okay.
And depending on how they said it, and maybe like you said, it may require a snapback. Then why you ain't married? Why you ain't married either?
Yeah.
What?
Right. That's it. It might, but more so, it
Yeah,
is being comfortable with your answer.
that's right.
Being comfortable with your answer of why you haven't, but knowing your answer of why not, right? Not the why not of like, oh, because I made these bad choices or because this or that. Now, all those things may be true, but also, and inclusive of, you haven't found the person yet that you want to spend your life with. And
Yeah,
these are the things you're looking for. Okay, so look, Yvette bringing some perspective. She said they trying to find out if you crazy or not. That's what
that's
they trying
true.
to do.
Yeah, that could be some of it too.
Go ahead. They try to find out if you crazy. Is something going on with you? Is that why ain't nobody done picked you up yet? Ooh, that's something else. Okay, so that's interesting. Yes, I would say it's an honest conversation about, and sometimes it's also a deflective conversation. Because why, as Pastor Will said, why you ain't married yet?
But also, for many of you, I'm sure your answer could be, "I've had my opportunity, but it wasn't the time." But what? But but you're asking me this why? I mean, but why
That's
is this
what
question?
I'm saying, right?
Why is this question even relevant for where we like?
For getting to know each other,
Forget
why is it relevant? I don't know. So, I mean, I'm a little cynical when it comes to stuff like this because don't do too much.
Yeah,
Don't do too much.
don't do too much.
Don't do too much.
What are you looking for? What's the point of this question?
Yeah. Making sure it don't get into too many things. That's the look. You're not getting out of pocket. Anything else tonight, guys? I you know I like this topic of dealing with your dating anxiety. Because
Yeah,
I do know and remember how anxious it can be while you're waiting to be found, and or while you're waiting to see if this person is the one, while you're waiting and fielding all the questions from your friends and family, while you're waiting and figuring out, if you should go to the next step of engaged or married. And so when you think about all of those scenarios, take some of these tips that we gave tonight and make sure that you are working through your anxiety, so anxiety doesn't lead you to make a bad decision.
that's the truth.
Anxiety doesn't lead you to choose someone that's not choosing you, or anxiety doesn't lead you to a space of choosing a relationship that's no good for either you or the person. So that's why we're stressing tonight. Deal with your dating anxiety. Deal with it head on. Deal with your dating anxiety. That's all I got tonight, you guys.
Yeah, that's all I got tonight.
That's all I got
Shoot.
tonight. If there are no other questions, that's thank God's way tonight, child. Deal with the dating anxiety so you don't end up sad, child, in a relationship and you're sad. Okay. Wish you was alone again. That is no type of way to be. Oh, wish you was alone. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the end of dating God's way tonight. Thank y'all.
Uh-oh,
Once
what's next week's topic?
we
Go
don't know
ahead.
yet.
Go ahead. Send us some options for next week's topic. Send us some
Yes,
options for next.
send us some topics. We'll choose one or two. But y'all, thank y'all for joining us tonight. I don't have no outro music tonight. I got homework to do. I got to finish up this project.
Child,
Got to
Pastor Boy
turn
gotta
it
get
in
that
by midnight.
homework.
So
Oh,
love you guys.
guys.
Off and off and off we go.
See you.
See ya.